You will probably never have these champions on your account. What's up, guys? MtgJedi here. I'm a bit late uploading my video. I've been pretty tired trying to get started here, recording, etc. But today we got an announcement for a new champion in the game, and I felt like this would be a great opportunity to take this video idea I've had on the back burner for a while and really flesh it out and get this uploaded for you guys. But let's start off with the new champion that just got added to the game that you will probably never have. So if we come over here, we're going to take a look at this champion here. This is, what is her name? Oh, Arix. Arix! That's it, just Arix. So I feel like we need like a title there, like Arix the Defiled, or Arix the Shadow Wraith, something, you know, some kind of title. But anyway, this is a legendary HP champion from the Knights Rev faction, and this is going to be our new daily login champion. Now, you have to play for like 3 years to get this champion as a daily login, but the nice thing is you can pull this champion from ancient shards. Now, the people who are like on pace, the 2%, as I call them in the thumbnail, that is extremely math-driven, scientifically generated 100% estimation. 2%. So, anyway, if you're on track to get this champion, obviously you don't want to pull them from ancient shards. I don't believe you'll be able to pull her from sacred shards, but from ancient shards, she'll be on the normal pull list, so some players will get her, and I feel like that averages out to the 2%, you know, authentic, definitely for sure, real numbers that I completely made up. So, this new champion, Arix, is actually decent, I think. She's got an AoE A1, and a 25% chance to remove a random buff from each target. I actually love that. And then the books will probably make that be more than 25. We can add another 5% with masteries. I think that's an amazing A1. Unfortunately, I don't know. I kind of feel like that's the best part about her kit is the A1. But I don't know. She does have an AoE on her A2 as well. And I don't feel like you're ever going to use her anywhere but Hydra. I mean, tell me I'm wrong, but, you know, sure, she's gonna be fine in Faction Wars. She'd be great in Faction Wars, to be honest with you. But it'd be pretty frustrating trying to stun those Valkyries, which is the reason why you want her. But at least Plarium is listening to me, saying we need more crowd control in this faction, and now we have 2 or 3 champions in a row. Yeah, I think so. That have some crowd control, but we need an epic player. We need an epic that provides crowd control in this faction, okay? So, 50% chance of placing stun on the AoE and transfers a random debuff from this champion to the targets that receive stun. That's pretty cool. It's an AoE, so I don't know. I don't think that you would really use this that much in PvE content like Hydra, for example, but it's all right. Then Warped Guidance, we have ally protection on everybody except her and counterattack on her, which, I mean, I think that that's a fine ability. And then you're counterattacking with an AoE A1. I think that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. And then she has a passive, fills this champion's turn meter by 5% each time an ally inflicts a critical hit. So if you build your champions like you should be building them in Hydra with crit rate, she could cycle through her abilities pretty cool. She also heals herself by 5% of her max HP each time an enemy inflicts a critical hit. I don't know. That's not that great. But overall, I think this is a cool champion that they've added to the game. And I think that she is definitely useful. She's definitely useful. I could see people using her when they get her, but it would be better if you got her, you know, earlier than like 3 years of login rewards. So, now let's jump into some other champions that you're never going to get. Okay, the first one is unfortunately one that everyone wants, and that is going to be Ninja. The longer and longer the game progresses, the less and less percent of people that will have Ninja. I already see people all the time saying, oh, I wish I had Ninja. I don't have Ninja. Why can't I have Ninja? He's an incredible champion. Decreased defense on the A1, HP burn that pops every time with the perfect veil, and then the AoE freeze, and then, you know, decreasing the cooldown of this HP burn when you're against bosses, etc. And you have the pumping himself up to do more damage. I mean, just an incredible champion, right? But the majority of you will never have him, and this is a champion that's not going to ever be put back in the game. So if you want him, I would say consider switching accounts to an account that has him. There are plenty of people who have stopped playing. We do account giveaways all the time. You know, and so I feel like this could easily be a time to switch accounts if you want to, okay? I probably have some sitting around that I could give away. If you guys are interested in another account giveaway, I could probably hook that up for you. The next champion that you will probably never have on your account, more people are going to have this one because he's newer, but Alexander the Sharpshooter, who was the all-star of my faction games team, he has a A1 freeze, he has a A2 decreased defense, maybe weaken, but probably not, and an A3 that can remove all buffs from the target. I feel like they should swap this. He could definitely use a buff. They probably won't do that because, again, nobody can get him anymore in the game. If you have him already, you have him. If you don't, you don't. I personally love this champion. I think he looks super cool. This is totally like the D&D character I would play. And he hits hard. If you need evidence of that, check out my faction games videos, or head over to Deadwood Jedi and check out his wrap-ups of the faction games. Super, super fun. Now we are going to also mention briefly any Void Legendary. Like if you particularly want Raglan, probably never going to get her, okay? But, you know, it is likely that every player will get multiple Void Legendaries if you play this game for a while. So I don't really want to include all the Void Legendaries, but if there's a specific one you want, you're probably not going to get it unless you're throwing lots of money at the game. Now, the next one that I want to mention is going to be the old fusions. Okay, you are never going to get these old fusions through fusion fragments. Okay, you're just not. If you really wanted Vlad or Kreela, if you really wanted Darkgale or Elagaius, you're never going to get them in this summoning portal. But the nice thing is, if you want them, they're in the game. You can pull them from shards. I wanted to mention them, but we're not going to go through all of them individually. If you have those, though, that you are probably in a smaller percentage of players, but not the 2%. But I did want to mention them there. Okay, the next champion that you are very unlikely to get is totally fine. It's totally fine, and that is Guurda Bogbrew. Now, I am the proud owner of 2 Guurda Bogbrews, and I did do a video on her. You can check that out if you're interested, but this is the daily login reward. Okay, let's hop back over to my daily login rewards, and I will show you. So, Arix is the newest one. The one before that is Lady Arix, but you can pull her from shards, so I'm not including her on this list. And then the one before Lady Arix is Guurda Bogbrew. Guurda, not that great. You don't really need her for any reason unless you pull her from an ancient shard. I like the debuff spread. She does have AoE weaken, which is pretty cool, but the thing is, you would want to use her against Hydra, but poison is not very good against Hydra. Some of the Hydra heads can't be poisoned. The poison does less damage. I feel like you should just take that out, Plarium. Just keep the less damage on the toxic head and remove all the rest of that stuff. Let us poison the Hydra. It's not going to change hardly anything. It's just a stupid thing to have on the Hydra. And then 80%, 100% with books of removing a random buff from all enemies. Make this be 2 or 3. I don't know why this is 1. That makes her very underwhelming. And then the poisons as well, okay? Also removes 2 random debuffs from all allies. Just make it be 2 and 2 or all and all. I mean, if you make this be all and 2 poisons, she would actually be a good champion and we would be using her. Whenever an enemy receives a debuff, their turn meter is decreased by 3%. This is almost never going to happen. You can't use this anywhere where it's actually relevant. I feel like this is a complete waste. This should say, your turn meter is boosted. Okay, boost our team's turn meter. Don't decrease their turn meter. This is pointless for anywhere you'd be using her. It seems good in thought, but in practice it does actual nothing. Could be a good champion if she ever gets a buff like on this ability, like I was saying. I think that's great. Also, remove this without weaken. Just make it be AoE weaken, AoE poisons. Okay, I forgot about that. That's another reason why she's bad. And you know, like, we don't need this weaken here either, right? Just make it be a debuff spread on her A1. That's not even that good, okay? So anyway, she needs a buff. Most people are not going to get her from the login rewards. It's just if you pull her from a random shard, okay? Now, on to the main event here. Okay? In the Doom Tower, we start with Archmage Helmet, which is the... Let's see, Bannerlord, right? He is the very first normal Doom Tower champion. I feel that most people will get him. He's amazing. Everyone should build him on their account. Always. He's great. The second normal Doom Tower champion is Akoth. Wait, is he... He's in the wrong faction, in my opinion. I don't know why he's here and Euros isn't. Euros and Akoth should be in the same faction. Pick one. I don't care which one. Just pick one. They should be in the same faction. AoE HP burn champion. He's okay. If you need an HP burn champion for Spider, he can get you there. But you probably have another option. I think the majority of players will get him, so I'm not really including him, but I wanted to mention him. Once we get to Rian the Conjurer, this is where we start having those champions that no one is going to get, okay? I do not have Rian yet, and that's a good indication that most players will not get her, okay? I think she's a great champion with the A1 block buffs, the A2 remove all buffs from all enemies, 100% chance, AoE weaken, and then she has this revive also, and then she's going to revive Akoth and Euros. Let me know in the comments below if you think Akoth, Euros, Rian would be a good combo for Hydra. I'm not sure, but I think she is great. I think she's a great champion for Arena. I think she's a great champion for Hydra. I'm very excited to get her and try her out, okay? But I don't think that the majority of players are going to get her. She's the third champion. And the longer and longer we go down this list, in Dark Elves, aka the Doom Tower faction, the less likely it is that players are going to have these champions. I'm very excited to get Darkgale, who's the next one, because he has this poison explosion on his A1. He has an HP burn. Instantly activate poison and HP burn. Yeah, and it's a triple hitter. He has the AoE decrease attack. It also increases the duration of the debuffs. And he has the poisons and the poison sensitivity. He's an incredible champion. Most players are not going to get him. As soon as I get him, I'm building him. He's going to go in some dungeon teams. He's incredible. The next champion in the normal Doom Tower is Gwyneth. And honestly, nobody even knows what she does because no one's gonna get her. She has the AoE on her A1 that doesn't trigger counterattacks. I mean, that's cool. She has an A2 single target that she can place weaken before, and she heals, then heals all allies. I don't know. I feel like this should be an AoE. It's kind of mediocre, but not that bad. Transfers all debuffs from this champion to an enemy, then attacks them, ignoring 10% of the target's defense for each debuff they're under. As a single target, I feel like it's a meh. And then Doom Tower battles, you're never going to use her there. I don't even know why she has that. She's an attack-based champion. I know she can do pretty good damage. Most people, even when you get her, are not going to build her, right? She's okay. She seems kind of cool, but no. Next up, after Gwyneth, is Taya. We flip over to Shadowkin for Taya. I know Taya's a pretty cool champion. Most people are not going to get her, okay? You have to play for over 2 years to get this champion. Over 2 years to get this champion, and you cannot get any of these Doom Tower champions from shards. A1 decrease accuracy, A2 triple hitter poisons, which is good, and then the A3 instantly activates poisons and HP burn, and then we have this heal reduction part, which is terrible. Honestly, it's terrible. It should not be there, but I guess it could be good against the Nether Spider, because heal reduction is very good against the Nether Spider, especially if you combine it with Geomancer for the HP burns. So, I don't know. Pretty niche champion here. And then another attack-based champion. When you get her, I feel like you're not going to need her, but she is cool. She is cool and interesting. Next up, another champion you're not going to get. And please, pause the video here. If you have these champions, let me know that you have them and if you use them, okay? So if you are part of the small percentage of people who has them, please let me know that and if you use them. Here's Zii. I had a goal of how I was going to pronounce this. We're just going to call her Zii Ixchi. Zii Ixchi? I don't know. But this is the one of the ones from the thumbnails. 15% chance of placing an extra hit. Who actually cares? Attacks one enemy, ignore shield block damage. Places block damage if this kills an enemy. I don't think her multipliers are good enough for that. Increased damage, increased crit damage, increase attack. Then grants an extra turn. That's not a bad ability, but like, what are you doing with it? With these 2 single target attacks. And then whenever this champion kills an enemy, decrease the cooldown of Crown Breaker. Okay. I don't think that this is like, this is not what you need whenever it comes to you've been playing for 3 years in the game. You know, that's definitely not what you need. Like, her damage multiplier is 2.7 on her A1, which is alright. And then it's 5 on her A2, which is alright. But, like, these are not AoE attacks. Like, her base attack is not that high. I feel like she's super mediocre. What are you even going to do with her? Maybe she'd be good for a secret room to do some damage, but we already have Venomage to, like, to get us there. So I don't think she's very good. Next up, we have a champion that I honestly do not remember what she does. She's the cheesiest of champions, the Limburger cheese of the game. Liburga has an A1, chance to place poisons, but you only attack 1 time, so it's minimal. A2, 2 poisons, poison sensitivity. A3, increased defense, increase attack. She is a support-based champion. Both of these abilities are attack-based. So I guess if you're still using Frozen Banshee, maybe she's a champion who could go in your clan boss team. She's got reasonable stats. Let me double check her multipliers real quick just to make sure that I'm not missing something. But you could probably build her for damage. Frozen Banshee does jack squat on damage, only on the poisons. So yeah, I mean, she has 3.5 and 5.1, so that's not bad at all. And then she will put an increased attack on herself. But I don't think you want to waste a turn to put this on, but maybe I'm wrong. When attacked, 50% chance of increasing the duration of all poison debuffs. So I bet she could be a good damage dealer, but again, nobody's gonna have her. It's gonna take forever to get her. Like, there's no way to catch up, okay? And then last but not least, we are back to Dark Elves yet again with another epic champion, Krakarth. And this champion has a chance to remove a random debuff from a random ally, but not herself. Who cares? Place a revive on death buff on herself. Who cares? Strengthen and shield is not bad, and she's an HP-based champion with low HP. Any champion that is HP based that has less HP than Trunda, I feel is a failure. Plarium, it's not okay. It's not okay. Make these HP based champions have more HP. I don't think anyone will ever use this champion. If you change this to AoE and revive undeath to your team, then maybe that would be okay. Change this to a chance to remove a random debuff from all allies, maybe. Like, these epics should be good by the time we get them. They should still be good, but they're not, okay? Increases the value of all shield buffs on all allies by 15% while this champion is alive. That's pretty cool. I mean, this is just like buffs your shield abilities. So when she's shielding, it's really more than the 20%, which is nice. And then that will combo with other shields that you might put on your team as well. All right, now moving over to the hard side of the Doom Tower, and then we'll finish up with one special champion at the end. I think that most people will get Thea the Tomb Angel. She's the first hard Doom Tower champion. I think most people will get her. Even with the buff, she has been still not that great to me. I still need to try her more, but I'm kind of underwhelmed. I'm underwhelmed. But I need to give her a fair shot before I, completely write her off. I want to try her in Hydra, etc. So once Hydra rotates in another day or two, I'm gonna give her a fair shake. But I think most people eventually will get Thea, but it's gonna take a long time for people to get hard Doom Tower. It's going to take a long time for most players to get there, and so I don't think most people will get past her. For example, the second champion is YuGiOh. You'll see that I don't even have him on my account yet. I don't know how close I am to getting him either, because again, it takes an awful long time to get each of these through fragments, and then once you're able to start getting fragments, it still takes a long time. But YuGiOh is great. He has the A1 shield himself. He has the AoE with lots of words that doesn't really do that much. He can decrease turn meters. He can place decreased speed if they're under poisons, which, I mean, that's too much, I feel, but, he does have the passive that places the poisons on the attackers, so I don't know. Like, I want to use him in Hydra, but, I just feel like there's too many qualifiers. And then he has the Strengthen and Ally Protection, which is great, okay? He's a very good champion. He can solo the Scarab. I feel like that's the main place people use him, but at least for an HP based champion, he has a decent base HP, so that's pretty good. And then his damage is based on HP, which is good as well. He's definitely a usable champion. The next champion that the majority of players will not have is going to be Gomlok Skyhide, okay? He has an A1 leech, okay? That's good. He has an A2 chance to steal random buffs, which is cool. You know, he can decrease the target's turn meter, blah, 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 blah. I don't care about that. This is really his bread and butter here. AoE, decrease defense, and weaken. Okay? But the thing is, he has to be at full HP. I don't like that. I don't like that. But it is rare for a champion to have this ability. Whenever 4 or more buffs are placed on the enemy team in a single turn, place a shield buff onto this champion equal to 50% of his max HP. He's a support-based champion. His damage is based on attack. He does have an AoE here. Like, I feel like this could be a good Hydra champion, but I kind of wish that this was an AoE. Like, I feel like it's just like, he's so difficult to get, and like, he's not that good, but I feel like I might use him on my account, so I feel like you might use him on your account if you get him as well. But give me some feedback, let me know. The next champion the majority of players are not going to get is also an orc, and that is Varl the Destroyer. He looks kind of cheesy, but kind of cool. Like, I feel like his head is pretty dopey. I wish he had a helmet or something. Like, these eye mask things, I don't know what's going on with that. It looks like he's kind of squinting. I don't know, but his weapons are amazing, okay? A1, he heals himself. Okay, like, we can do that with gear. I don't know why that's an ability. AoE, weaken, decrease attack is a cool ability, though. Okay? Like, I feel like you could pair him really well with YuGiOh, for example, who does that decrease defense, block buffs. Then you'd get weaken, decrease attack. And then he has a block damage if it kills someone, ignoring 30% of their defense. Decreases the max HP. I mean, I feel like this is a usable champion, but again, not great. Increases this champion's attack by 10% each time they use an active skill. So he's going to have an enormously high attack. And I feel like he could be, again, great in Hydra, which I feel like Hydra is so necessary for the game because we're using way more champions there than we would normally be using. He's all right. Next one up is Basatha. And I'm not sure about the order. Which one comes first? Because I had conflicting information. I have Varl down first and then Basatha, but I actually thought we got Basatha before Varl. Somebody who has these champions, please let me know. I like this guy, even though he doesn't really look like a lizard. Like, he has like a normal mouth. This looks like a dog or a beast or something. So he doesn't really look like a lizard. Like, he doesn't have like the... I don't know, maybe he kind of looks like, he doesn't have the pointed snout. That's what it is. He doesn't have the pointedness of the majority of the lizards. It just looks like, I don't know, anyway. A1 decrease attack is okay. AoE, strengthen, continuous heal, also places a shield if they're under debuffs. I don't know, it's okay. It's an okay ability. I feel like this should be an attack as well. And then he has an AoE stun, which is nice, but it's really his passive, okay? This is on a 1-turn cooldown, so you'll stun the first person in the team order who gets revived. They will get stunned. Or if it's like Sifi and it's a single target revive, they'll get stunned. But if it's Rotos, then it'll get auto-cleansed. So, I don't know. It's good, but it could be better. At least it's unique and interesting. Okay, at least it's unique and interesting. The next champion we will probably all never get, myself included, is... people say Vasal, but I say Vasal. I'm pretty sure this is Vasal. Vasal of the Seal. A1 HP burn, but only if they're under True Fear or decrease attack, and then shields himself. That's why. Why is there a qualifier? Okay. AoE True Fear decrease attack is a cool ability. Where would we use it? I don't know. And then the HP balance is pretty cool. And then he gets an extra turn, which is the best part. 20% less damage. I feel like any ability that says other factions should also do something against all the factions. Like, have it be 10% against everyone and 20% against these. I think these are cool. Eventually, hopefully, these will matter in some way. But this is a kind of an underwhelming champion. Now we come back to the Doom Tower faction for, where is it? Cromax, the underwhelming. A1 decrease attack. A2 single target block buffs. If this was AoE, then I would be supportive of this champion. AoE provoke, decrease accuracy. And then when attacked, can place a hex. Just change this to AoE and this champion would be very good. He would be a great Hydra champion. Stop this A1 single target nonsense. Stop this. What is his passive again? Oh yeah, the hex. Okay. The next champion only 2% of players are going to get is going to be Gronjarr. I actually think this champion is really cool. This is the next guy from the thumbnail. As far as I know, nobody has this champion yet. A1, increase the duration of HP burn. Very cool. A2, 75% chance of removing block debuffs. Okay. 75% chance of removing a random buff. Okay. I don't know. Again, underwhelming in my opinion. AoE HP burn. Fills his turn meter for every HP burn on the enemy team had before the attack. So you're going to HP burn, you're going to increase the duration, and then you're going to HP burn again and boost his turn meter. I guess that's alright. This champion will not receive any damage from HP burn. Instead, it will heal him, so that's cool. Whenever an enemy attempts to place a freeze on this champion, instantly removes it and places it on the attacker. Also places HP burn. I think that his kit is super cool. I also absolutely love the broken giant sword on his back. That is amazing. You can't even see it all, but on the thumbnail, it is a giant two-handed sword that's broken off in the back. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. And then the last champion from the hard Doom Tower that you are never going to have is the Stork himself, Ginro. A1, 50% chance of increasing the cooldown of one enemy's skill by 2 turns at random. I mean, that's alright if you were using him in Arena. A single target stun, ignore block debuffs and block damage. Alright. Increased defense counterattack. Okay, now you're talking. Like, this could be a good mischief target, mischief tank, because we don't really need any of that. And then we put this here. But the problem is he doesn't provide any other benefits. We want the mischief targets to do something. Increased defense every time he counterattacks. Defense resets every time he gets a turn. That's stupid. Take that off. Converts this champion's resistance into additional accuracy. You don't need that. End of this champion's turn, places a provoke for 1 turn on all enemies under increase attack. I don't even know what to do with this. It's like half of his kit is good for Arena, half of his kit is good for PvE. I don't understand it. I don't think it goes well together. But at least he's a weird, interesting champion, right? And last but not least, the champion that the majority of players will never get is not located in the Mystery Shard market here. That is going to be, that's right, Ramantu Drake's Blood. Only 2% of players will ever get this champion. And if you stuck around until the end of the video, you have my heart. Tell me in the comments so I can give you a personal thank you. This is an amazing champion. Amazing champion. He's very well known for his complete buff removal, block active skills, block passive skills, which is unique. He has an amazing passive. He has a hard-hitting quad attack. And he has an A1 that can increase their cooldown of their skills. I mean, obviously an amazing champion here. the majority of players are never going to get him because you have to do so many things in order to get him. You have to beat the hard Doom Tower, you have to beat all the secret rooms, you have to play the game for like 3 years. I mean, most players are not going to get him, but if you're one of the people who has him, oh man, you're blessed because he is an amazing champion. So, what do you think of this list? Were there any champions that I missed? Are there any other champions that the majority of players are not going to get, or that only a small percentage of players will have? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, and I will see you guys in the next video.